The second phase, the next phase, is called define. The define phase. Let's talk about the define phase. This is really logical. And each of these phase names kind of describe exactly what we're doing too. So in the define phase, this is when we got business requirements. Business requirements are defined and documented by the business subject matter expert. That's a long name for a person, isn't it? Business subject matter experts. Somebody asks you what you do. I'm a business subject matter expert. Pretty nice term, huh? With the help of business analysts. Let's talk about that first bullet. So we talked a lot about we've talked a lot about requirements. Okay, requirements are first defined by the business. When you think about that, do you think the entire business gets together around a giant round table? 1,000 people, all raising their hands with ideas? No. It's the main experts of that department or that part of the business. Let's say we were developing a finance application for the finance department. We wouldn't have the entire finance department defining the requirements. No, we would have the main experts of that department, the people that have been there the longest. Those people that take a long time to get down the hall because they're real slow. They're like dinosaurs. No, I'm kidding. I work in QA. I love QA. One of the things I love about QA, and that's why I love helping people get into this field, is we get to work with everybody. We get to work with the business. We get to work with the project managers. We get to work with the developers, the designers. We work with everybody. Developers, they just kind of sit in their hole and they develop, and I couldn't do that. I'd go nuts. We work with all types of resources. The business subject matter experts we get to work with, they're great people, smart. They're the top people of the department. They're like the business managers. So if we were developing an application for the finance department, we would probably be working with that finance guru who knows everything about everything, and they know what they want that application to do. We call those people the business subject matter experts. Why? Because they're experts in this specific subject. Business subject matter experts. Sometimes we shorten that and we call them SMEs with a little s. Subject matter experts. Oops. Let me go back. No, 2-4. Sorry. Okay. All right. Let me erase that. Let me explain this last little piece here. With the help of business analysts. Okay. Business analysts are people we're going to work very closely with. Maybe even more closer than the business subject matter experts. Business analysts are people in IT that work in between. If this is the business and this is IT, they work right here. They work in between. They have business expertise and knowledge, and they also are very technical. All right? Why do they work with them? Well, let me try to help you understand why the business analysts help here. If you think about it, these business requirements that have to be defined, those have to get handed off to the technical team, right? We're going to talk about that right here. They get handed off to the technical team. Well, the business subject matter experts are experts in that business, in that subject. They're not necessarily experts in writing requirements. they don't necessarily know exactly the types of things the technical team needs to understand in order for the technical team to be successful. Like, let's say we were developing or the business wanted a program to manage emails. Okay, and let's say business analysts weren't involved. The the business might just write, well, we need a program to send emails, receive them, and manage them. Is that enough to go to the technical team to ask them to develop a program around? No, it gives the technical team way too much room to do whatever they want. So, we need someone who are experts in writing requirements. And we need somebody who also understands that part of the business and also understands what type of detail must be captured in those requirements to be able to hand them off to the technical team. So the business analysts on a project we are going to work very closely with. And I'll talk more about all these people and how we work with them. Project managers, business analysts. Now we also have business subject matter experts. So we got about 3 people now, I think, right? Yeah. Okay. So, taking a step back. The business subject matter experts sit down with the business analysts and they together work to define what the business wants. So your business analyst is kind of like your mediator between the business and technology. They kind of help make sure everything is copacetic. They make sure that the requirements are getting captured correctly. They make sure that the technical team will have enough information, enough details to understand exactly what the business needs, exactly what they need. So, coming out of this first bullet, we now should have business requirements. And let me just say that this process here is not a 1-hour deal. I mean, this might take a couple weeks to finish. This might be hours, meetings for hours each day for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. This is not, the business requirement document that comes out of it is sometimes 30, 40, 50, 60 pages long. It is not just a one-pager. It can't, unless we were developing a very simple thing. But even if we were developing a very simple thing, it'd be more than 1 page. Let's talk about this. The business requirements are handed off to the technical team. I don't think I have to go too much in detail here. We have business requirements now. Now we hand them off. They get handed off to the technical team. This is the one I want to talk about. The technical team defines and documents the technical requirements, which are how the business requirements will be solved with the technical solution. Okay, let's take a little forward step again to our Yahoo new registration page here. If the business requirements were, hey, we need a page to capture to allow new users to register and create an email. We want to capture some personal information about them. We want to give them the ability to create and come up with their own Yahoo ID that's unique. The business looks at that and they come back and they kind of put more low-level details into it. And the technical requirements are like technical responses to the business requirements. Okay, if I need an application, if my business requirement is to give the ability of new users to select their ID and choose a password, the technical response, or rather technical requirement for that might be, well, we are going to do it, we're going to allow the user ID to be between 6 to 25 or 50 characters long. We're going to also add a button so they can click check to make sure that no one else has already taken that ID. Passwords are going to be between 6 to 50 characters. Not really that long. I don't think you are allowed. Maybe between 6 and 13 characters long. And one of those characters has to be a capitalization. And that's the technical response. Okay, they take that business requirement, they think about it a little bit more and say, okay, how are we going to do this? How are we going to really solve this? Well, we're going to solve it by having, a field that someone will enter their proposed Yahoo ID, and then once they enter that in, we'll have a little button here to let them check, or we'll have the ability for them to automatically check if that name has been taken. We'll also have two fields that will allow them to enter their desired password, and we will make it so that way when they go in here and click in the field that it tells them the range, 6 to 32 characters. Wow, okay, it's pretty big. 6 to 32 characters are allowed for the password. They're going to have to retype it in again. We'll have a retype field. We'll even have a little we're going to think about putting a password strength thing in here too. They're not, it's just words, you guys. It's not like they're drawing pictures, and it's just, sometimes a few sentences expanding upon the business requirement, kind of basically telling the business, hey, we think we're going to solve this by doing this, and at the end of the day, before the end of this phase is complete, the business and the technical team will meet. They'll get together, okay? And what will happen is all of the requirements will be reviewed, okay? The business requirement will be read out. Someone will read out the technical requirement, and the business is going to learn up front, before the application is designed, before the application is built, they're going to learn what the technical team thinks or how they think they're going to solve it. Because who knows, the business might say, well, you know what, we don't like that. We want it, we don't want it between 6 and 13. We want to have it to be between 6 and 30. The purpose of this get together is for them to kind of hash out and kind of make sure that coming out of this phase, very important, coming out of this phase, we have finalized business requirements. We have finalized technical requirements. We know what the business wants. We know a little bit about how those requirements, those business requirements, are going to be solved by technical requirements. A technical requirement would be the password is going to be between 6 and 13 characters. We're gonna have a check, the ability for the new user to check to make sure their password is unique. Again, when we get to hands-on, I'll be showing you actual business requirements, actual technical requirements. I right now just want you to kind of understand the concept, understand the theory, understand the logic, the process. And I think it's pretty logical. I think. Most people that I've trained think, man, seems very logical, The business writes what they need. It goes to the technology team. The technology comes up with how they think they're going to solve it. All right, great. It's not too bad. This is not rocket science.